One fateful day when I was really little, I discovered the world of Pokemon. I learned every Pokemon's name and always dreamed of going on my own adventures and telling my own Pokemon story. I eventually learned I could catch my own Pokemon with a Game Boy and a copy of Pokemon Gold. And if I took that with me everywhere I went, maybe one day I really could. It's been over 20 years since then, and my first Gold adventure is lost to history, but it still remains in my heart. I wanted to capture the soul of that again, this time with Silver, and go on the Pokemon adventure that I had always dreamed of, with people and Pokemon by my side, going to new places I never thought I'd be. This isn't going to be just a normal playthrough either. This will be a Professor Oak challenge. That means prioritizing completing my Pokedex over getting gym badges, meaning that before I collect every badge, I have to get every possible Pokemon that's available up until that point in the game, with no trading, no connecting to other games or devices, no cheating, and no glitching. It's all about the honest level grinding effort we put into one copy of the game and nothing else. My name is Matt, but you can call me Absol, and this is my Silver Professor Oak challenge. I hope you enjoy. Our Professor Oak adventure starts with a story that I've already told. The story of getting the early Moonstone. This is a grind that's considered so ridiculous across all the Gen 2 games that for the Oak Challenge, it's optional. And on June 8th, 2023, I started things up and rose to the challenge. We see the main man himself. We name ourselves Prof, which is obviously short for Profiterole, and I selected Totodile as my starter, because it evolves fully into Feraligatr at level 30, which is the lowest out of all the starters. And also because, it's Totodile, dude. My video on the whole Moonstone ordeal goes into more detail on this, but basically, your mom saves up money in this game after battles if you tell her to, and after a certain point, she'll give you items. And one of those items is the Moonstone. But with the number of battles and items available before the first badge, there's just simply not enough money to get a Moonstone, unless you decide to pick berries. A couple thousand times. And this took 46 hours of gameplay that I definitely didn't just spend sitting at my desk. I drove the furthest that I had ever driven myself before, to go to Texas to hang out with some friends for a Safari Week IRL. It was my first time meeting Taylor and Quick in real life. I actually almost didn't go on this trip, because I was afraid of driving such a long distance. But I'm glad I did, because it was the precursor to what would become an even bigger Safari IRL in 2024. And if I didn't go on this trip, I would have never met my friend Kotatsu, who we randomly encountered at a Pokemon store. I also picked some berries in Georgia, where I met the guy who introduced me to the Professor Oak Challenge in the first place, Johnstone.
He won't let me leave.
I picked berries off and on for most of the summer, until July 28th, when I had finally gotten enough to get my Moonstone. There it is! Meaning I could finally purchase Pokeballs and capture the first Pokemon of this entire challenge, other than my starter, Jigglypuff, and immediately use this Moonstone on it to evolve it into Wigglytuff. And now, my real pre-Badge 1 journey could begin. Lugia, the mascot of Silver version, is the guardian of the sea, so I decided I needed its blessing by visiting the sea, taking a quick little drive to a beach I had never been to before.
I thought this would be a Wingull, but unfortunately Wingull doesn't exist yet in this game, so I have no idea what this mysterious bird is.
I combed the beach searching for Pokemon in Silver. On the same route as Jigglypuff, Route 46, you can find Geodude, which fits right in with the rocks on the beach. I also caught a Rattata, which I named Mr. Cheetah. And clearly because it was so late at night outside, it was time to catch the nighttime exclusive spawn Hoot Hoot as well. Then my Game Boy ran out of battery after catching that, so utterly defeated, I saw this bird that almost kind of looked like Lugia and drove home. Then I had another little outing on August 2nd to try and see the closest thing near me to a crocodile, because August 2nd in Japanese can be read as Crocodile Day. I of course had my own little croc that I needed to evolve, but there were also some Pokemon to catch. I managed to catch a Bellsprout and a Zubat in Dark Cave. I was hyping up this lake to my Totodile saying it was full of alligators, but after like 20 minutes I could only find one. and it watched me as I trained my Totodile all the way up into Croconaw at level 18.
It all grew up.
Then I didn't play again until August 10th, when I was going to Super Smash Con. I thought I'd spend my entire flight trying to find the 1% Dunsparce in Dark Cave, but I caught it before the plane even took off. I would also need to catch a second Bellsprout so I could do an in-game trade, which is allowed in the Oak Challenge, to get an Onix. So far, 2 snakes on a plane. I always appreciated its name Rocky. I also nabbed a Ghastly in Sprout Tower. It was a serene morning looking out at the sunrise and doing the sliding tile puzzle in the ruins of Alph to catch an unknown. But according to my game, it was not a serene morning. It was nighttime. So when I landed for my connecting flight, I pressed down B and select on the main menu to change the time to morning, using this little password system that's built into the game. Since this is an actual feature, I don't consider this cheating or a glitch. So sitting next to this cool sculpture, which Pokemon Go says is a pencil sculpture even though it's clearly made out of crayons, I've got beef with this. I was able to make it morning to capture the last Pokemon that I needed for the rest of this section. A Pidgey, about to take off in flight, a Sentret, which I named Wet Floor because of the band from Splatoon, and Spearow, the bird Pokemon ever made, and the 2 silver exclusives, Weedle and Ladybah. Now it was level grinding time, where all we gotta do is battle wild Pokemon for like a couple dozen hours. I landed in Virginia, and checked into my hotel, where I could faintly hear someone practicing the Unova national anthem. They weren't doing a very good job though, because this sounded absolutely nothing like End's Farewell. And I made it to the venue of the con just in time to watch my favorite event, the N64 Combo Contest. But as I sat there, training up my Croconaw off Unknown in the ruins of Alph because they're pretty steady experience, I kind of wondered why I was even at SmashCon in the first place. It is the fun Super Smash Bros. Event to go to, but the problem was I wasn't really motivated to play Smash. I was already kind of feeling this when I attended the con last year with my friend Brosidon, he has a mustache, but going there this time completely by myself, I felt it even more, and really thought a lot about things. I had been competing in Smash tournaments for 9 years now, and with all the time that I'd put into the game, I've made all sorts of amazing friends through it, improved my editing skills, and learned a lot about self-improvement, but I just simply wasn't getting those same lessons out of competing anymore. I just didn't have any concrete goals I could realistically work towards playing this game anymore with the time that I had, because I had found more purpose in making these Pokemon videos. And an hour of grinding in that felt more useful than grinding in Smash. But all those thoughts aside, I still found plenty of reasons I was glad that I was there. I spent a lot of the weekend hanging out with my friends Waddy and SH Trashley, and I even got an incredible birthday gift from them. Their place was very well decorated with lots of Pokemon, some more lifelike than others. And I was really curious about the legendary shelf here.
What's the trio in the middle?
The Legend of Johto. So Ho came from the Burn Tower, Lugia came from the Whirl Islands, and Fuecoco came from Mahogany. He was hanging out with Price, and then Price kicked him out because, well, you know, ice types.
But anyway, here's the reason why you're here watching this video anyway. Table assembly footage. And happiness.
See what's inside. Wow, I'm so happy. I'm doing so much work.
First table one, two, typically.
And we immediately broke in the newly assembled table. With an evolution.
I didn't realize this thing evolved at level 30, so I entirely missed the evolution, but we got the Feraligatr at the IRL.
Gator.
Next thing I'm training is Geodude.
Another core memory was trying to figure out where the HDMI port on the TV was at the hotel with my friend Aaron, and we couldn't figure it out, so the night just devolved into this instead.
There's a Bellsprout.
And it's shiny.
Imagine, that would be the sickest shiny reaction.
Live shiny Bellsprout.
And back at the venue, I met up with the Evil Turnip, who I had met last year because we had the same Regigigas shirt. I missed the original Stitch Pokemon shirts, by the way. And he had brought a TV Tuner Game Boy SP Smash setup. I didn't play a lot of friendlies this weekend, but I definitely got some games in on this thing. And oh yeah, there was another pretty big reason I was here.
It's time for the second annual Super Smash Con Fun Fest meetup, and hopefully people will be able to spot me, because I'm wearing an outfit that really, like, makes me blend in with everyone at this convention here. I'm hoping that people will be able to find me.
The previous year, I hosted a Fun Fest meetup in Black 2 and White 2 to get a rare achievement medal. And we did this on the floor in the second room of the convention center. But this year, we had been upgraded. It was listed as an official event of the con this year, at the new Safari Zone section made specifically for Pokemon stuff. And you know what? We weren't on the floor either. We actually had a table to sit at. And I had just seen the work that goes into making one of those things. But before the meetup started, I got to meet Pikaviz, the webmaster of Blue Moon Falls, which is one of the most useful sites for Gen 1 and 2 Pokemon info on the web. And on a different Gen 2 file, I did a little trade, since, you know, trades aren't allowed in the Professor Oak challenge. Gradually, more gamers and familiar faces showed up, like some of my old shiny hunting friends, Hunter and Jay. We needed 30 participants to get the special medal, and we were just a couple games short. So I went over to the vendors, which were the best Pokemon vendors I've ever seen at any con, by the way. It was actually kind of ridiculous, the selection. And I took one for the team, buying 2 DS Lites and 2 complete in-box copies of Black 2 and White 2. I don't even want to go into the details of how much this cost me. But, holding up our DS's, we hit the goal.
Oh, 30! I'm getting 30 on games that didn't get 30 earlier.
30! Let's go!
These FunFest missions have become one of my favorite things to organize at conventions, and I'm gonna keep doing this everywhere I go. But anyway, I made the most of the rest of my con being dressed up as Baja Blast, even playing in my tournament bracket matches while dressed up as it, and man, those were cursed. I don't know why my opponent was begging me to swap off the character that I picked in Smash 4, and when I lost in Smash Ultimate, the player popped off so hard that they recreated Terry's victory pose in real life where he throws his hat and it kind of accidentally hit me in the face. But those vibes changed entirely when I hung out with Waddy and Trashly again, going to the combination Pizza Hut Taco Bell, which is tragically closed right now, because they serve the world's most nuclear Baja Blasts.
The cats got into the blast.
They're licking their paws. I think this Baja Blast had some crazy side effects that even leaked into our games.
Oh my god, they were eating the straw!
Cause I've never seen a Ruby cartridge behave the way that Waddy's was.
Why is he walking backwards? Why are you moonwalking?
I gotta put him back.
You don't have the Pokemon.
Oh, this is my Pokemon Emerald, but I'm invisible.
We get into some grass. Shiny Sceptile, no way!
Regular Linoon. And shiny.
What the heck?
Oh, this is my Ruby version Oh, wait.
Oh, it just...
Wait. Oh my god. Oh god. Oh, you know what it is? It's because I cheated. Look at it real close. This is a Ruby.
Oh, it's a Rapfire. It's a Subi.
It's a Scooby.
It's a Sub.
And just like that, my SmashCon was over, and it was time for me to focus in on what was really important. Training my Trying the Peruvian soda Inca Cola that someone from my Twitch chat, Zoppy, has been trying to get me to try for over a year.
Oh, this is good. It's kind of like cream soda, but a little richer.
And then evolving Geodude into Graveler. On the wrong game. I gotta do it on Silver. Which I did the next morning on my flight back home, while watching Matilda. Great movie. This is the end of the road for our Graveler here, since we're not allowed to trade to get Golem. Croconaw and Geodude both took hours to train, but the next one would only take a few minutes. Weedle, which almost immediately evolves into Kakuna, and then Beedrill. Then I got home and started training my Ladybah, which I named Sculpt, after that sculpture that's made out of crayons, not pencils. And I wished I could have gone to another convention the next week, if only I did. I went to the fever dream of a convention that was ColossalCon Texas, at the Kalahari, which is like a safari-themed resort with like an indoor water park and a chimpanzee fortune teller named Cornelius.
Some wisdom from the great Cornelius.
His name's Cornelius?
What?
And I met up with my friend Kotatsu and Tales of Taylor.
We're at the Kalahari, which rhymes with safari, and the Oddish army is here to take over. Calzone in the house. And I got a Pikmin with me too. Pikmin are Oddish adjacent.
Now, the real magical part of this con wasn't the anime convention part of it. It was the fact that the anime convention was being shared with a foosball convention happening at the same time. I had no idea that they called themselves foosers until this. And it was amazing just seeing the foosers' reactions to all the people walking around in cosplay. It was an amazing collision of worlds. And I got plenty of level grinding in. Or at least N, the king of Team Plasma, did, alongside his friends Grusha and Clara.
I'll have you know that I've been wearing your shirt for like 3 years. I'm your biggest fan. I haven't changed shirts once on my Pokemon Sword. And Clara forever.
And during the con, I got a very important object for my shiny luck.
See what I got, James!
Oh, no way! I'm on the scene.
He's on the scene!
Let's go!
I'm here on the scene.
Ladyball was a bit of a grind to train because it only knew Tackle, but it wasn't a pain at all because of what I was doing, especially watching the best Pokemon movie in our watch-through of all the movies, which I'll have to talk about in another video sometime.
I hope he knows what I'm doing right now for him.
At level 18, it turned into one of my favorite tragic Pokemon designs, Ladion. Please give it a new evolution or something. And then I started training Hoot Hoot. Immediately after, I blew up this inflatable Magikarp that got denied entry to the water park because it apparently wasn't Coast Guard approved, and I spent the night riding almost every water slide until like 3 AM, and then shiny hunting in the water park. This still did not feel like a real evening that happened, because immediately afterwards, we drank Cheeto water, and it was terrible. After one more crazy decision of a joint custody purchase of a shiny Sigilif plush named Majesty, I drove back home from the con, and then drove back home to see my folks.
Just holding this out over the lake, very, very casual, got just normal activity going on, you know.
And with my dad's help, I got revenge on the Coast Guard's approval system by inflating this Magikarp and using it in the pool. I had started doing all of my level grinding on Route 31 instead of the Ruins of Alph, because Unknown is one of the species of Pokemon in these games that has a random chance of running away every turn. And I didn't want to fail a potential shiny one if I found one. This was probably very forward thinking, because when I set up the old Super Game Boy and decided to subject my entire family to me playing this while we were sitting around talking, this happened. Okay, not this. This is just me messing with the color palette settings. Really cool that you can do that on this.
So I'm just hanging out with the family. I'm subjecting them all to watching this. And random shiny Bellsprout. 1 in 8192 chance. Unreal. The first random shiny of this Oak Challenge. We have 19 Pokeballs. I'm just gonna toss them.
This is the first shiny I've ever gotten on the Super Nintendo setup. Let's hope we can catch it.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I should have enough Pokeballs for this. Like, I feel like it's astronomically rare for me to use all of these and for it to not catch. But it's also astronomically rare to find this. Okay, we caught it. Let's go.
E.
M.
P-H-Y-S-E-M-A.
Emphysema?
Yep.
So far, I'm 34 hours into this challenge. Not a single gym badge yet, because that's how it goes. Our first shiny.
It was just like watching one of your videos.
Yeah.
Oh, great, that's shiny. I'm so excited.
We're not training Gator anymore, because we got Emphysema. I got Emphysema today. I'm so happy. Normal Weedle.
I love normal Weedles.
Go Emphysema.
Crazy.
Shiny Emphysema.
Go Emphysema.
Go Emphysema. Go Emphysema. Go Emphysema.
Go Emphysema.
Eventually at level 20, Hoot Hoot became Noctowl. And then in the backyard I got a preview of some of the other Pokemon I'd be seeing later in this challenge, like Stantler, Murkrow, Pachirisu. Wait, actually that's a Gen 4 Pokemon, you're not supposed to exist yet, get out of here. And I started training my next Pokemon, Mr. Cheetah. But then the challenge was on hold for a little bit because something called the Teal Mask released, and later into September, I was hopping on a plane again. This time to go to a cousin's wedding in Lawrence, Kansas. I had a couple mishaps on this flight where I accidentally bumped my game cartridge, which caused the colors to look all funky, and then it literally became unplayable for a second. But eventually Mr. Cheetah evolved into Raticate at level 20. And then I started training Planegar, the Ghastly that's never gonna be a Gengar because no trait evolutions, on the plane. Then I arrived in Kansas, a place where I was a man with a mission, trying to find out who this Lawrence, Kansas was. Because a wise scholar told me, with a name like Lawrence, Kansas, that's not a city, that's just a guy.
I got one goal here. Figure out who Lawrence is. This Tyranitar wants to know.
I kept seeing people who were unmistakably Lawrence apparently, but they were different people every time. So I'm not sure which one the real one is.
Virtual reality Lawrence. I thought I was already living in the real one.
There was also potentially Minion Lawrence, a potential cryptid Lawrence of the Sasquatch variety. Hopefully this guy wasn't Lawrence, RIP. There was a Charizorance. And we can't rule out the Paldean gym leader Larry, because that's Lawrence shortened. And I even went around town and tracked down a couple leads for who Lawrence is.
Excuse me, are you Mr. Lawrence, Kansas? Is that your name? Are you Lawrence? Oh, no way!
I'm Lawrence, Kansas.
You're Lawrence, Kansas?
I'm Lawrence, Kansas.
You're actually Lawrence? No way.
This guy's
I'm Lawrence, Kansas.
The town's named after y'all?
No, that's after me.
I'm Lawrence,
I'm Lawrence,
Kansas.
I'm Lawrence, Kansas.
This is an insane development.
The moon.
I'm finally getting some good footage of it. This is insane.
It doesn't look real.
It does, I was about to say the same thing. It looks like whenever you think you see the moon off in the distance, but it's a Burger King.
I'm in downtown Lawrence right now, still trying to locate where exactly this Lawrence is. Also grinding up this Ghastly. It's pretty normal so far. And wait. What's going on? Is that Lawrence?
Get out of here.
Is that Lawrence?
Lawrence, Kansas, right here. Get out.
Okay. Okay, that was weird.
The mystery even carried over into the wedding reception. During Cotton Eye Joe, when I was tearing it up on the dance floor.
Wait. Who's this next to me? Is this Lawrence? Are you Lawrence?
I can either confirm or deny.
Okay, I think that might be Lawrence, Kansas. I think that might be him. During Cotton Eye Joe of all songs, too.
The beauty of this level grinding is that it doesn't require much focus. And while hanging out with the family, I got Ghastly to level 25 and evolved it into Haunter. But the mystery of Lawrence remained.
Actually, I'm Lawrence. People call me Larry, but whatever you want, okay?
Is your last name Kansas?
Yes, it is. Okay.
Well, nice to meet you.
Thank you. Carry on.
All right, thank you.
I was so confused, I wasn't sure who or what to believe. And the fact that I was in such a weird hotel wasn't helping either. This hotel feels straight out of the back rooms. Because it was once a mall in the 90s, and it has a very strange layout. So I had to do some hotel exploration, hoping to find answers and maybe Lawrence in the process.
No one knows what this door is. No one knows. Why is that there? This looks like the name of an anime or like an anime attack. Then it like turns like this, and this is just half the hotel. Unlabeled room. Like, alright, we got all these chairs and stuff here. There are more rooms this way, down a hallway that, of course, has no rooms on the right side. Everything is on the left side. The coat room, you know, just a bunch of empty hangers and a chair. I'd love to do some shiny hunting here in the coat room. Alright, so I'm in a liminal space right now. I like to think that the real Lawrence, Kansas likes to sit on those chairs and just relax by the hot tub. My favorite Gen 2 HM. Whirlpool.
The most daring thing I did was walk into some rooms I probably shouldn't have late at night.
Lawrence, class of 1963. Welcome back, everyone. It's been a fantastic 60 years since we graduated here. Go team. Go Lawrences.
I just knew that walking these halls could possibly change me forever and help me find Lawrence.
It's pretty cool.
Leaving Lawrence, I made a little realization about myself. What if I'm Lawrence? Like, unmistakably, what if I'm Lawrence this whole time? My name's Lawrence, but you can call me Absol.
And I'm not making this up. Whenever I got to the airport, I was stopped by some ladies who were on the way to a conference talking about their unmistakably Lawrence tourism program and the shirts that they made for it and stuff, and they were so happy that I bought one of their shirts. And it was a really happy ending to all of this really silly and stupid Lawrence stuff that I was doing. Also, Sentret evolved into Furret. Then I trained Spearow, and it evolved into Fearow a couple days later at level 20 while I was doing some work. Then I began the longest level grind of this entire section, Pidgey, evolving it into Pidgeotto during the Darkrai movie. But then it was time for me to travel again. I thought I had gone on a normal, easy October beach trip with Kotatsu, but reviewing the footage was haunting. Constantly in the background, there was this Teddiursa plush. This cursed one, this Teddiursa.
Coffee. What a normal, easy day.
It's not even possible to catch this thing yet in Silver at this point in the game. So I have no idea how this happened. There was no plausible cause for this haunting whatsoever. It's not like we hit it with a golf cart or made it eat sand. That would never happen. So the real point of this trip was to go see the annular solar eclipse that was happening that weekend at the beach. And to see if my car mirror would fall off, and thankfully it didn't, and don't worry, I got it fixed.
Oh, this eclipse is awesome, isn't it?
It's so crazy. I can see like all of this.
Yeah, it's so cool. Wow, it's like
Nature's amazing.
it's fully eclipsed by the cloud.
But thankfully the sky started to clear up a little.
Chiclane, here we stand. Naruto, I'm on my way. Naruto, I'll be okay. Getting ready to fight on side. Got my best friends by my side. Sasuke, he's really cool. Sakura, the beautiful. Break it down. Pidgeotto's level 33. We're getting wing attack. This is a momentous occasion, actually.
Oh, check it out. It's almost there.
While we were watching the eclipse, we came up with the shiny hunting term standing in the odds after standing in the ocean, and we just thought it would be funny to see if it would catch on. And it actually did. You all fell for our scheme.
Horse.
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 Hashtag. Oh no!
Oh no! And they were only available for a limited time.
After so many random beach activities, the last night we really got down to business and started gaming. And during the Giratina movie, my Pidgeotto finally reached level 36 and evolved into Pidgeot. Also, who did the better YouTube thumbnail face? Please let me know.
Hold on.
Oh, okay, hold on.
In that case, there's not a
Shiny Vanillite!
No way!
Let's go!
Oh my gosh!
Yeah!
That's so sick!
Let's go! A movie shiny!
Finally!
Let me pause the movie.
There is a shiny Vanillite. First ball, let's go!
Yeah, I know this isn't Pokemon Silver, shut up. We ended the trip with a very important playthrough of Pokemon Channel, just to see one scene, and the Meowth that was on it.
Yes! He's on the scene!
I'm here on the scene.
Let's go!
And there you have it. That ends my report from the scene.
Is he on the screen? Oh, let's go!
And there you have it.
Our report from the scene.
Yo, what up? It's me, Lawrence. I got a different passenger this week.
Enjoy the blast, buddy. School bus approaching! School bus approaching! Oh no! Ah!
I think I went to heaven. At least that's what it felt like when I saw this dog. I was visiting my family one more time before going on the craziest trip of my life. October was a busy month for me, and I had to evolve Emphysema with the people that I found it with.
Go Emphysema! Go Emphysema! Go Emphysema! Go Emphysema! Go Emphysema! Go Emphysema!
Go Emphysema! Go Emphysema! Yeah! It evolved.
Of course, we can't get a Leaf Stone at this point in the game, so it'll stay a Weepinbell. Then, in the presence of ghosts, I trained off of the Ghosts in Sprout Tower for the final Pokemon I needed to train before getting my first badge, Zubat. And my brother and I hit the road the next day for the perfect location for our first gym battle, with the entertainment of talking to a scam caller the entire time.
John, let me tell you, John. John, I have some news for you, John.
This is John.
John, we have feral hogs and they are running amok.
They're running up and down. They're running sideways. They're running in our gutters. Have you ever got a hog out of the gutter before?
Have you, John?
They're squealing. We can't sleep at night because of their squealing.
You ever heard of the wild feral hog, John? Hello? John, we're here. The hogs are here too, John. They're closing in on us fast.
We got them playing the War of 1812 overture.
And they have cannons, John. They're doing the full 1812 overture with cannons.
And I think it's not just firing blanks, John.
And somehow these guys kept calling us, even though they didn't understand our feral hog predicament at all, for the entire hour-and-a-half drive.
Okay, give me about 10 minutes, 1 moment. I'm just gonna let it rock, see how long it'll wait. Do you shiny hunt full odds or do you use methods? What did I win, Mr. David?
1.5 million.
Unbelievable.
1.5 million hogs?
And through the power of brotherly friendship wasting a scam caller's time, the next level, my Golbat evolved into Crobat. But that's also because I kept it in my party this entire time while grinding up other stuff to passively grind friendship. It had been 72 hours now, in-game time, plus an additional 30 of soft resetting for the berries that didn't count on the in-game timer, and finally, I had arrived at my destination, Bass Pro Shop, to battle the Violet City gym leader, Faulkner, on the Rebecca Bass Limited Time Special Edition Game Boy SP. I went up the glass fish elevator, and a showdown to be remembered forever began. Actually, it was like a really, really easy battle. He has an illegal Pidgeotto, everyone talks about that. I bet if you started Silver at the beginning of this video, you're probably past Faulkner now on a casual playthrough. Anyway, let's start the next section. Now at this point after Faulkner, we have this much of the Johto map unlocked, which does not include the Game Corner and Goldenrod. But my brother Mike and I still went to the Game Corner in real life to try and win it big. Immediately upon leaving the gym, we get a call from Professor Elm and a Togepi egg.
I think I'm gonna hit it big today.
Don't worry, this wasn't the biggest trip of my life that I was hyping up. This was only like the second biggest.
Some days you walk out a gazillionaire, other days you walk out with 29 cents. Either way, you're still winning.
But I was preparing to go on that crazy trip. Before I left, I saw another Stantler, this time with antlers and with the move Lick. And I got a really cool package in the mail.
Enjoy, King. Analog Pocket Console Transparent Orange Limited Edition.
I traveled as far as I possibly could for this section to make it to the forest and catch an Oddish. Because it's a nighttime exclusive spawn, and I wanted to make Calzone proud. Then I caught the silver exclusive Ekans, so I can make another Snakes on a Plane joke. I've never even seen that movie. Then I needed to talk to Kurt to alert him of Team Rocket's evil plans to sell the Slowpoke tails, so I could go into the Slowpoke well and capture the true hero of this section of the game, Slowpoke. You'll learn why later. Then Absol and I boarded the longest flight I had ever been on in my life, and I backtracked to Route 32 to get down to business, catching a Hoppip, Mareep, and Wooper. Then in one of the Pokemon centers, we can get the old rod and start doing some fishing.
Did you make it do that?
Yeah.
How?
I started watching the Five Nights at Freddy's movie with no prior knowledge of the games other than one YouTube video, and caught Magikarp. On Route 32, we need to make sure we battle this guy, Fisherman Ralph, and get his Pokegear number, so he'll call us about a certain outbreak. We can make this call happen by going back home to our mom and constantly turning on and off daylight savings time. Eventually, you'll get the call from Ralph saying that there's a Quillfish outbreak. I was lucky enough to have this happen first try. But before we go back there's some extra backtracking we need to do to make sure we get some Pokemon that will give our fishing rod the bite of 87. We catch Goldeen in the Dark Cave. On Route 30, we get Poliwag. Back home in New Barktown, we get Tentacool. In Cherry Grove City, there's Krabby, which I named Literature after the 2 words that were sitting in front of me this whole flight. And then we go back to Route 32 and get Quillfish. There was another catch back in the Ilex Forest that I forgot earlier, Paris. And at some point, my Togepi egg hatched. Right at the moment that MatPat was on screen. And though you can't hear my reaction very well, I was genuinely shocked. And that's all the catching we can do now until we train Slowpoke up some. But I had slightly more pressing matters at hand. Like arriving in Japan.
The life kind. Hi. I am such a tourist.
I honestly had no idea what to expect here. I had never been outside the United States before. And I was told not to expect it to be some sort of crazy fantasy land full of all sorts of Pokemon stuff. But everywhere I looked, I really thought that it kind of was. I had been awake for over 24 hours, but I fought to stay awake so I could experience what Tokyo was like for the very first time. All while dressed up as N, the king of Team Plasma from the Unova region. Not because I just randomly felt like getting into costume, but because it was close to Halloween. Now, there weren't supposed to be any actual Halloween celebrations happening in Shibuya, but we decided to walk around anyway, not doing any loitering or anything, just constantly moving along. I got to experience my first Japanese 7-Eleven as part of the store's name, the N, and I was jealous thinking about how some people's regular convenience store is the Dragon Quest themed Lawson. I wish there was a Dragon Quest themed gas station in Louisiana. We made it back to the hotel before the last train and rested up to continue the adventure. Now, as for why this Slowpoke is our top priority for training right now, just look at its name. It's Bed Hut, which is a spoonerism of Headbutt. Slowpoke naturally learns the move Headbutt at level 33, and we need that to capture the final few Pokemon of this section since we can't get the TM until after we beat Bugsy. So the fate of the rest of this section is in Slowpoke's hands. And when you're doing a lot of training, eventually you're going to need to go to a Pokemon Center. So I went to my first Pokemon Center at Sunshine City in Ikebukuro. We waited in line for them to open in the morning, and as they were opening, I noticed the huge wall of my Pikachu plushes, which is this unique line where every single one is distinct. This Pokemon Center used to have Mega Charizard as the mascot, but now it's Miraidon. I wonder if that'll change when Legends ZA drops. Unlike in the games, I actually spent some money to use this Pokemon Center, and I had a feeling I'd be doing that at all the other ones that I'd be encountering on this trip. And then we went to the largest Gashapon shop in the world, which is far more dangerous to my wallet than any casino could ever dream to be, and enjoyed the rest of the day exploring Harajuku. My favorite thing about the famous cat billboard isn't necessarily the billboard itself, but the cat cafe that's located below the cat billboard that has to specify that it's a cat cafe because of the cat billboard and not because they actually have real cats for you to pet. But for people actually looking for a cat cafe, thankfully there's one right there.
Is this like a Terra raid battle?
Whether we were stopping to eat some delicious food, walk the streets, ride the trains, see a guy with a ton of Wynot strapped to his back, or anything else, Bed Hut the Slowpoke was my constant throughout all of this. I didn't realize it in the moment, but this is the Pokemon that I feel like I have the strongest bond to over the course of this whole journey, even though I wasn't able to bring one home from the UFO catcher. The next morning on October 30th, the sky was clear enough to see the peak of Mount Fuji off in the distance, the real-life inspiration for Mount Silver, the location of the final showdown of this challenge. We went to Tsukiji Market.
Let's take ibuprofen together.
Where I found something I was very excited to try.
Japanese Mountain Dew.
Unfortunately, there was something wrong with this machine, and it gave me apple juice instead, so I'd have to wait to try Mountain Dew later. But then we went to the Tokyo Skytree, where they had a very fitting sky-high Pokemon, Rayquaza, at the Pokemon Center there. Of course, I had to show the big man himself my Professor Oak challenge file in Emerald from last year. One of my favorite parts of this Pokemon Center was the looping banner of all the Pokemon towards the ceiling, and also the shiny Mega Rayquaza, full odds. Once again, my wallet was not safe, and we briefly stopped by the Skytree but decided not to go up it yet. Coming from Louisiana, seeing any sort of structure like this tall is breathtaking. But we hung out by the water waiting for something even more breathtaking. Our appointment at Team Lab Planets, A really cool and immersive exhibit that you're just gonna have to see for yourself. Of course I had to train my Pokemon there. That's like the whole point of this video.
I'm on the floor and on the ceiling.
Every single room here was so enchanting, incredible, whimsical, and felt so alive. I wanted to spend hours here, showing Bedhut the Slowpoke every square inch of the place.
A common household room in every place in Japan is the orb room, where we got nothing but orbs and everything. You can find this in any house in Japan though, like everyone's got an orb room. You got an orb room?
I have two.
It's sick.
Premium apartment.
Yeah, this is just your standard grade, honestly.
Oh yeah, I've been so focused on talking about where I've been training in real life that I haven't talked about where I'm training in game. The bottom floor of Union Cave is our best bet for training this Slowpoke for right now, though it will unlock something a lot better once we actually get Headbutt. My favorite place to train in this whole spot was this flower room, where you could just lay on the floor and stare up at all the flowers in the ceiling. But then we got to see some real flowers, and something even crazier than anything I had seen in the exhibits happened. One of the workers there recognized me from my Pokemon videos and struck up a conversation about shiny Pokemon. You never know what might happen and who you might connect with if you just upload videos of the stuff that you're interested in. This is the most connected humanity has ever been in history, so might as well take advantage of it. Time and time again, I realized that making these videos is seriously the best decision that I've ever made. I reflected on it all, looking at some normal stuff that we've got in Louisiana. These guys are everywhere. And I had one of the best meals I had in all of Japan, and ironically, it was Korean food. This chicken was insane, and alongside it, I had a very special drink.
Alright guys, we got our first Japanese Mountain Dew here. They still have it say actually Mountain on it, it's not MTN Dew. It's not abbreviated. Crack it open, it's the green stuff. It tastes different. It's totally different.
How's it different?
It's almost like green tea in a way, but like carbonated. It's not as like in-your-face artificial citrus. Do it up.
The next morning, on actual Halloween, I embarked on a really crazy solo journey that is going to be its own video. But on the way there, I was doing lots of Slowpoke training. Because sitting down on the bullet train, it was really my first opportunity to take an extended period of time where I was primarily focused on grinding. I finally got rid of the Team Rocket grunts in the Slowpoke well, reading some mail on one of the Slowpoke that I had never noticed before. I did a lot of training on the train, because that's what trains are for, I think, and I took on my rival, as I looked at all the cool countryside out my window. I also optimized my training in Union Cave by using Oddish's Sweet Scent, which really sped up getting encounters. And speaking of speed, I rode the high-speed bullet train for the first time, and I had no idea how popular these things really were. I never expected to see Bullet Train Jujutsu Kaisen crossover merch, but there it was. I had done 3 hours of traveling to get to my special destination for the day, and then I did 3 hours of traveling back, immediately going to the Shibuya Pokemon Center, where in the spirit of Halloween, the effects it would have on my wallet were scary.
All of these are totally unique. I'd say that this one is super unique. These even more so.
This Pokemon Center has a little kiosk where you can design your own shirt. Unfortunately, Absol wasn't available as an option, so I decided to do some shopping for someone else. I then walked outside and somehow randomly stumbled upon Fangamer Japan, which was crazy for me to find because the Earthbound community that Fangamer started from was a place that I called my home on the internet for quite a while. And in here, I had my first ever taiyaki, which I can proudly say was in the shape of Sans Undertale.
You're gonna have a bad time.
Then I visited my Onyx.
Dude, no way. It's the in-game trade Onyx that we got before the first gym that didn't evolve into Steelix. It's Rocky. Let's give him a metal coat.
After that, I met up with my friends again, we had some crazy good dinner, and then we went to an arcade where I ended up spending a lot of yen just trying to win one Kurapika figure from Hunter x Hunter. It was a nightmare. We needed help. It was extra bad.
It's going in. Let's go! Woo!
That was all by myself, no help.
That's gonna be first try.
Yeah.
Eventually, I tried another taiyaki, this time actually in the traditional shape of a fish. And then we went to the beautiful park at Mitaka, where I saw some Cramorant on the water, literally using the move Dive to hopefully retrieve a Pikachu with the Gulp Missile ability, and some of those ever-crucial headbutt trees that I was training up my Slowpoke to bonk.
Got ice cream? Hands? No, they're just canned bread.
No way they have it. Canned bread.
The reason we were here was to see the Studio Ghibli Museum.
I live next door to that guy.
Which was absolutely beautiful, but you're not allowed to film inside. I was recognized out here again, and I didn't even know about it for a few days. Life is crazy. You know what's even crazier? The fact that you are Santa Claus. And what's even crazier is that we went to Akihabara later that night. I think I might save a lot of this merch stuff for another video, to not get this movie too off topic. But the place we were going the next morning was very on topic, especially for the Johto region. Because I was heading to the Johto region in real life, gaming on my crazy no legroom setup on the bullet train. Eventually, Bedhut the Slowpoke hit level 34 and finally learned its namesake move, Headbutt. Using a calculator online with the trainer ID, we can see the rare trees where Heracross spawns, and capture that. The Headbutt trees having 2 separate encounter tables is a really fascinating mechanic, and it takes a lot of trial and error to figure this out if you don't have a calculator. Next, we can actually catch Execute, Pineco, and Apom, which I didn't actually catch yet because I knew I was going to be going somewhere really cool to capture this. It was so cool riding the high-speed rail in real life that goes from Saffron City to Goldenrod City. But we got off a little bit earlier than Goldenrod, to go to the real-life Ecruteak City, Kyoto. I went to the Kyoto Pokemon Center, which was very clearly Johto themed. They even had Miho there. After not finding it in the ocean twice, I finally found Lugia, the mascot legendary, in real life. And then on a little walk around town, I found one of the many Pokelids that has different Pokemon on it, and we adventured through a place with a very different vibe from Tokyo. All while I trained up Slowpoke to evolve, off of the Headbutt tree Pokemon since Heracross gives so much experience. The next morning we took the train to Arashiyama, and out my window on the train I immediately saw a huge side quest for me. But Arashiyama was beautiful. It was truly something else to be able to play Pokemon Silver in the actual place that inspired it, and level grinding was the perfect mindless task to do while doing so, allowing me to fully take in every view. Like climbing up the steps of this mountain to go to the top to see monkeys, and an incredible view of the city. This is where I finally caught Apom, because it only felt right.
It's little face. He wants it so bad, I'll give it to you. Face is so little. Oh.
I can do that.
Oh, he bit down on it.
Let's go!
Bit the baby.
Get out of there, baby!
I tried to keep it secret from the monkeys though that I was knocking out a lot of these Apom for EXP. I saw so many beautiful natural things here, but then I completely pivoted and went to go see something created entirely out of mankind's hubris. A part of the Human Instrumentality Project. The giant Eva Unit 1 at the Toei Kyoto Studio Park. Evangelion isn't what I would call my all-time favorite anime or anything like that, but it's really important to me because it helped me get through one of my first shiny hunts. And it really got me back into anime in the first place. After my little side quest, I met up with my friends again to see something special. At sunset, we walked through the busy streets of Kyoto to make it to Kiyomizu-dera Temple, one of the best spots in the whole city to watch the sunset. And since we had a lot of waiting to do here for the sun to truly set, I decided I would get in the final level for Bedhut the Slowpoke. This was such a special place to get in the final level for what felt like my partner Pokemon throughout this whole journey. And it was a super easy final level, since it was daytime in-game, meaning that the Spearow that appear are sleeping. But that doesn't really matter when you're level 37. And Bedhut the Slowpoke became Bedhut the Slowbro, and then a new journey began with Fazbear the Magikarp, which I had to constantly switch train in order to get anything done, since this thing just splashes. Kyoto was truly amazing, and walking around there made me realize why Johto was designed the way that it was, compared to how urban Kanto was. I also got to see what influenced the NPCs there, and the evolved form of Shroomish. I also did some walking. I walk to Burger King, and then I walk back home from Burger King. Then I went to the real-life Violet City and Sprout Tower in Nara, where I quickly got to see why there are so many Stantler outside of that town, even though we can't catch them at this point in the game yet.
Look at this guy with the horns. Look at this lady. Hey, lady.
It was so tempting to try one of the deer crackers for myself, but I just decided to feed them to the little guys.
Hey, dear. You ever seen Magikarp before? Okay, you're not interested in Magikarp. It is a boring grind. I don't blame you.
In just one morning, I went from Ekrutik to Violet to Goldenrod City, Osaka. And I went to the Pokemon Center there, which just so happened to have a Pokemon Cafe attached to it, which I didn't think I'd be able to get into because I wasn't able to get a reservation, but after over an hour and a half of waiting outside, I managed to get in. I got this Gengar beef stew, and I even got to see the star of the show, Miku. Getting this experience was so worth the wait, and I didn't even feel alone since I was on call with a friend the whole time. Ash and Pikachu even ate here. I went to one more Pokemon Center and a couple other places before I left Osaka to meet up with my friends again for the most unforgettable night of the entire trip. One of my favorite places in all of Pokemon is Bellchime Trail, the little trail that leads you to Bell Tower where you find Ho-Oh. And I was in Kyoto at just the right time of year to see Toji Temple and all of its autumn leaves lit up at night, just like Bellchime Trail. I could just imagine the showdown with Ho-Oh at the top. We got there on these electric rental bikes, and we decided to keep doing a little bit more exploring after we left.
Lawson 100. The pinnacle of power for a Lawson. Very few Lawsons ever reach this level.
And then the truly magical part of the night happened at a random 7-Eleven. All because I watched this one anime while hunting in Scarlet and Violet earlier that year, sitting alone in my room. Bocchi the Rock. The 7-Eleven had these little strawberry wafers where you could get like a trading card with some of the characters. And I thought I'd get one because I hadn't seen much merch for this throughout all of Japan. I really enjoyed the show because I found it relatable in a lot of ways. And when I stepped outside, there was a group of college students hanging out who had just finished a long and busy day of working their school festival. And they stopped me, and one of them in really good English asked me if I had seen Bocchi the Rock, and I was like, yeah, it's a really good show. And instantly, somehow, a connection was made. My friends walked outside the store and started chatting them up with me, and before we knew it, we were climbing up the steps of Fushimi Inari together, in the middle of the night. We even saw wild feral hogs, like the prank call my brother and I were doing earlier. On the way up, I remember talking Japanese and English Pokemon names, talking about how powerful the Akatsuki Gachiguma is. And it was so incredible thinking about the domino effect of me watching this random anime to suddenly being here, playing Pokemon Silver, looking out over the city of Kyoto at night with a group of strangers who've lived very different lives from me, thousands of miles away. And yet we were able to connect over this one thing and have an unforgettable night as if we had been friends for a long time. As I've gotten more responsibilities with work, and also pretty much worked on this YouTube channel and all my free time outside of that, it's become harder and harder for me to justify watching shows or just enjoying something these days. But this was a good reminder. The media we consume, the art, the music, everything that we like, is actually so important. And it isn't a waste of time, because you never know where it might lead you in life. The next day I went to the Golden Pavilion, went to the manga museum and did some shopping. And then the day after, I embarked on another crazy solo journey, hoping to go somewhere magical.
Man, the view is so awesome here of this pigeon. Look at it. Dude, it's so cool. Remember that the speed limit is 30 miles. It could be per minute, it could be per second, it could be per year.
I went to Universal Studios Japan, and while waiting in line to get a Squirtle churro and a Pikachu pizza bun, Fazbear the Magikarp evolved into Gyarados. I was here hoping to see the whole Nintendo Land that had opened up, but unfortunately, I didn't buy it as part of my ticket, so the only way to get in was through a lottery system, where I waited for 2 hours to see if I would get in, and I didn't. Then it started pouring down rain, and in that moment, I realized that theme parks are not very fun at all when you're there alone in the rain. After that, I went back to the real-life Goldenrod City to meet back up with my friends. We saw some real-life Heracross and Pinsir, and went to the aquarium, which was amazing, but It took me until halfway through to realize that there was a DS download play guide you could use of the museum, and unfortunately I had left all of my DSs in the coin locker, and was not able to go back and get it to experience it. This whole day gave me a lot of missions for things that I need to do better the next time I go to Japan. The next day we left Kyoto and headed back to Tokyo, training my Wooper along the way. And I got to spend the night at a very, very special hotel. Calzone would be so happy to see that right there. There's a Vulpix's butt. I want to give you all the absolute scale of this Snorlax. It's huge. I stayed at the Mimaru Pokemon hotel room and did a whole afternoon of shopping around at different places, evolving my Wooper into Quagsire in the process. I tried to find a Pokemon hotel room shiny, and eventually I achieved the rare 4-star atop belly sleep. In the morning, I said goodbye to Snorlax in the amazing room.
The next Pokemon that I'm going to be training here is... not even in this room, on the walls, even though it's a Gen 1 Pokemon. Goldeen. It's November 8th, which means Mr. Donut just started this new collab. I'm eating a Psyduck today. Look at the teal mask and the indigo disc, sleep, scarlet violet. We got this box, and inside the box, Pikachu. This is horrifying.
At this point, the rest of the trip began to really feel like a blur to me as I tried to get in everything I possibly could in the sunset of my trip before going back to the States, like finally going up to Skytree. I think there was a restaurant called Pepper Lunch. Going to the real-life Vermilion City, Yokohama, where Worlds had previously been in 2023, which was home to my final Pokemon Center experience in Japan. Going to a Zatch Bell exhibit, playing the initial D arcade game, enjoying #horses, downloading a Darkrai from Toys R Us, actually they didn't have anything, going to this Pokemon Sweets Cafe, finding a real-life antique Poltegeist,
Flay Cocoa drink, Pikachu waffle.
Seeing the Pokemon Go leaders in real life, going to Japanese Taco Bell where they sadly did not have Baja Blast, but everything was still pretty good, getting fluffy pancakes, and before I knew it, I was on a plane again, heading back to the US, with no more distractions between me and Pokemon Silver. It was really bittersweet actually, but I got in some evolutions on the plane, including I think the last Snakes on a Plane joke I'll make on this video. Then I got home with my 3 suitcases and exploded. Life slowed down significantly from there, and from my desk job I had to go back to the office for the first time since the pandemic. While my code was building, I would do a little bit of level grinding on the side, and I managed to evolve Hoppip into Skiploom, then Skiploom into Jumpluff, and eventually, in the office, something really crazy happened.
Office right now. And show me a ball. Got it. Yes. I was nervous.
I named this Apom Office, and it's really special to me because I'm not allowed to play Pokemon in the office anymore. The monotony of things was broken up by getting to see some good friends, though.
Is that Mr. Let's Play It? Is that Mr. Let's Play It?
Vlogs? What are you doing at my apartment complex, dude?
I don't know. I'm just playing some Pokemon Silver.
What are you doing here, dude?
Dude, I'm just training Pokemon. I didn't think that this would happen. All right, happy Thanksgiving. From me, from the family, and from Booker. Cinnamon. So we got a cinnamon roll.
With icing.
With icing, yeah.
The cinnamon roll itself is
They don't go well together at all.
At all.
I did my family tradition annual Thanksgiving Donkey Kong Country speedrun, and then I continued probably the most annoying level grind of this section, Pineco, because its move pool kinda sucks. But I was thankful that I was getting to train this Pineco in such good company, and not in the office. And on Thanksgiving, it evolved into Fortress.
It's a beautiful November morning. The birds are asleep. I'm training a lamb. The birds are tired, but I'm not. I wonder if I could steal this boat.
Training Mareep to Flaffy is pretty much effortless since it evolves at level 15, but Ampharos is at level 30, so we got a little bit of a time for that.
We've hit the 100-hour mark.
Super Nintendo. That's not a treat. The real treat is seeing an Ampharos at level 30. Birdie.
But unfortunately, Birdie the dog did not get to see the Ampharos because I clocked in and got it at the office. Next up, it was time to train Poliwag. And I went to the airport to pick up Kotatsu and Univa because of a concerning message that she had sent me a couple days before.
Tedicursa, 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 Tedicursa.
Pokemon. Kotatsu started filming for her own videos out here, and she helped me with a special ritual that you may have noticed needs to be done on my analog pocket.
This right here is the Divine Pelipper in the sky, and the Divine Pelipper has finally given me permission to get the screen protector peeled off of this pocket. Would you like to do the honors?
Absolutely.
We're not littering? We're not littering?
Yeah, it is going in my pocket.
Let's go. And then on the ground, because we actually are littering. We're evil.
It's still in my pocket. It's still in my pocket. Evidence. Wait, this wrong thing.
She doesn't have it. She doesn't have it.
No,
she doesn't
no,
have it. She doesn't have it. She doesn't have it. No.
Don't cancel me on Twitter.com.
There are some trainers here who are getting married. These people are all out here on the lake to celebrate the Divine Pelican granting me the lack of screen protector on this Game Boy Pocket now, so it's really a great day.
R-A-E-T.
That's not even the right spelling. This will grant us shiny luck for the rest of the IRL. That's not even the bell, that's like the chain.
Aw, it didn't even ring. Is there even anything in there?
I don't even know if there's a ringer.
There's not a bell in there.
Oh, that's sad.
Wait, I'll fix it, don't worry.
Okay.
Ready? Ding, ding, ding.
We did a crazy amount of gaming and shiny hunting, and the next morning while getting beignets, Poliwag reached level 25 and evolved into Poliwhirl, which is as far as it'll go for now. Ooh. Then I started training Afton the Paris. And then the Indigo Disc DLC dropped, and I dedicated my entire life to that for a little bit, forgetting about the challenge until a little bit around Christmas.
I'm training Afton again, but more importantly, off in the distance, on the horizon, horse. I mean, sorry, can't. Horses, bye. That one's wearing a blanket. They're wearing blankets. I feel so inspired. Also, I'm running around in the grass because Spearow is a bad matchup for Paris. Horses are back for a limited time, man. I'm amazed.
The horsepower got me to level 24, evolving into Parasect. And then I started training Jumpscare the Tentacool, which I didn't realize had a unique menu sprite in Gen 2.
300. Aaron.
Are y'all ready for a jump scare?
Oh my gosh, it's a bunch of snowmen. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Ah, it's a horse. It's a horse.
On Christmas morning, my sister got me some Sitting Cuties plushes, where I had to guess the Pokemon based on the Pokemon Center reviews for it on the box.
On trial for robbery, this little person stole my heart.
And I got this lovely little Skiploom that accompanied me while I got in the final grinds of this section while hanging with the family. The last big level up was Krabby, which at level 28 while I was out on a walk evolved into Kingler.
Everyone please wave hi to Mr. Snowman or else, or your Christmas is ruined forever and everything is gonna be bad.
And then I had a pretty quick grind for Oddish up into Gloom, Don't Tell Calzone that I evolved in Oddish, and last I was left with Togetic, which just needed some walkin' done, since it was a friendship evolution. 46 hours and 37 minutes after finishing Section 1 in-game, it was time to finally get our second badge from Bugsy.
Using top-notch Super Game Boy technology, we're gonna fight Bugsy, but we're gonna do it the illiterate way. We need to cross everything out. No words to be read. Alright, this is how we do it the illiterate way. Can't read a single word, we're gonna still win.
Even though I couldn't bug see a single word on screen, of course we were still gonna win this. It would be like a harder challenge to fail this battle. We were at level 43 with Bed Hut the Slowbro. Let's move on to the next section, like a whole hour into the video now. Now that we have 2 badges in the HM for cut, we can head north until Sudowoodo blocks our path, catching 2 Drowsy for an in-game trade along the way. When we get to Goldenrod, we can go underground and grab the coin case, so we can go to the game corner to collect a few Pokemon. We don't have a lot of money though, so we're gonna have to do some gambling to earn these coins. And hey everyone, it's me, Calzone. I'm taking over here right now because I'm way better at gambling than Matt. I've lost a lot more money than him on the slots, and more importantly on the card flip game, where you bet on Oddish all in every time, because it's Oddish.
I hope you have a wonderful Thursday, even if it's not Thursday. It's Thursday now!
We'll actually be making it Thursday a lot in this section for the bug catching contest, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. On December 28th, when watching Pokemon Concierge for the first time, thanks to Chansey's help, I hit enough jackpots to be able to afford the 3 Pokemon we need: Abra, Sandshrew, and Dratini, which is the most infamous Pokemon of this section since we have to evolve it into Dragonite at level 55. We can also finally go to the bike shop and pick up a bike. This is me riding a children's bike that's as old as Pokemon Silver. And then we can ride our bikes slightly north to the National Park, where on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays they host the bug catching contest. Which is all in good fun, but is also a place where we have a lot of capturing to do, and we have to win this contest twice to get 2 Sunstones. You're given 20 minutes to walk around this park, and with only the leading Pokemon in your party, you can catch bugs to your heart's content, but you're only allowed to keep the last bug that you catch. So we'll have to enter this multiple times to collect every bug that we need that actually evolves. We'll want to aim for a Scyther or Pinsir to actually win the bug catching contest.
Oh, I won! Let's go! And we get a Sunstone, we need that.
But unfortunately, a lot of bug catching contests are almost decided from the get-go. Because if you go up to the fountain, and you notice that there's this man right here, Cool Trainer Nick, you're probably going to lose. He wins almost every single time. So if you see him, you might as well abandon all hope and pack it up. He's so good at bug catching that he evolved from a bug catcher to a cool trainer. He's that cool. And if you've ever wondered what exactly his process is like, I actually have a documentary with never before seen footage of Cool Trainer Nick in action. I hope you enjoy.
What's up, guys? I'm Cool Trainer Nick. What's up, guys? Here we are live here in the woods, looking for some bugs. Scyther's been here. We got to move fast. It's very important when handling poisonous bug types. You got blue gloves. Blue type. Most bugs think that blue is poison, and they know that poison doesn't affect poison very much, so they don't even bother injecting.
Let's observe Nick's Pokeball throwing technique on this bug.
Oh, it bit me! It bit me! It bit me!
He's truly a master of the capture.
Ah! As you can see here, it ran away.
You might think it's easy being Nick, who wins every time, but he's also the only trainer who the bugs run away from for some reason.
Nothing there. Move on.
Nick is able to detect bug-type Pokemon an astounding 15% of the time.
Thought I saw a giraffe egg.
To Nick, everything's a bug, because he's taller than most trees.
Thought I saw a Weedle up there. Guess not. One time I was back here, I caught Polyrath. Caught a Polyrath back here once. Yes! These are Scyther eggs. We're getting close.
We had to ask Nick what exactly his secret was to catching so many bugs. We asked for advice for any aspiring bug catchers out there, and this is what he had to say.
John McCain is still alive. He lives in Mason City, Iowa.
Shortly after, purely by smell, he found this absolute whopper.
I found what we were after the whole time. That's a Pinsir.
And there you have it. That ends our report from the scene. Nick wins every time, and there's no stopping him. Ever. Thanks to the time-changing password, after finishing the bug-catching contest, we can just make it Tuesday, Thursday, or Saturday again and get another try at it. Meaning we can take on Cool Trainer Nick as many times as we want, and more importantly, catch as many Pokemon as we want for this section. And I chose to take care of business while watching Kung Fu Panda for the first time with some friends. All while sipping on some Mountain Explosion. After grabbing the Caterpie line, Venonat, Scyther, and Pinsir, I could go south of the bug-catching contest on Route 35 to catch both Nidorans and the 1% Yanma. And then we could go back to the Goldenrod department store with our second Drowsy from earlier and trade it for a Machop. The next morning on Route 36, I finally caught one of those Stantler that I had been seeing so many times. And a Vulpix. Outside the daycare, I caught Ditto. I instantly put it in the daycare with my Wigglytuff from the whole Moonstone ordeal.
Only 500 Porbs in existence. This is number 203.
And started biking up and down until I was able to get an egg, which would, after a little bit of time on this road trip, hatch into Igglybuff. And sadly the footage of this got corrupted, so I had to do a reenactment, alongside the final capture of this section of Sunkern at the National Park. Now let's get some training done, at the State Park. I found the alternate timeline where you're Professor Oak's grandson.
3, 2, 1. Whoa! That's Dwarf Salamander.
They're really cool. Yeah. Amphibian. Ooh!
Hey buddy, look up there. It's your family. I hope they don't explode. And before I knew it, 2023 was over, and it was 2024. And sadly my first footage of the year was corrupted, but I was just training Dratini. As compensation, here's something for the Pineco fans. You don't think Pineco's anyone's favorite Pokemon? You don't think Pineco's anyone's favorite Pokemon? Look at this guy. Just look at him. Training Dratini starts out as a bit of a slog because its moves are really not good.
Level 22. We just got Dragon Rage. We gotta teach it over the strongest move ever though, Leer. Let's go. Schoolfish Jack.
And even with Dragon Rage, it still doesn't KO a lot of Pokemon in just one turn. While it's still a Dratini, I trained on the routes outside the National Park, though there's a much better spot for it once it becomes stronger and evolves. Forgive me for my informalities because I need to address it by the actual title that it earned by going to school. Dr. Atini. I went bowling with some friends, and I paid respects to his name. I went from Dr. Agonite to Dr. Ag. What a drag. And while hitting the lanes, I tried to perfect a technique known as Game Boy bowling, where you bowl with the Game Boy in your hand, while training Dr. Atini. I think the optimized way to do this is to film someone else's strikes while you're playing Game Boy so you can get the most levels in, because I'm not very good at bowling. While we were trying to master this technique, at level 29 Dr. Atini mastered the technique of Slam, which has low accuracy but is way better than our other options. And then at level 30, it would become Dr. Agonair, a successful Game Boy bowling trip. Now with Dr. Agonair, we're gonna go make sure it's always Saturday and train it in the bug catching contest. Over and over again. We're going back to the National Park. Guess I can't use HM1. Oh, my bad. Sorry about that sign. Outside of the Moonstone ordeal, this is hands down the longest grind in this entire challenge. But to be honest, it didn't really feel like that to me. It kind of flew by, especially with the 20-minute timer from the bug catching contests, which really encouraged me to keep playing every time I picked up the game, or provided a clear stopping point when I wasn't sure when to stop for the day. It kind of reminded me of running sandwiches in Scarlet and Violet with the 30-minute timer. In the process, I also managed to avoid Cool Trainer Nick again, allowing me to win and get the second Sunstone to evolve Sunkern into Sunflora, which was the last Pokemon in my Emerald Oak challenge last year. In the final couple levels, the experience bar moved like this. And there we go, level 55, finally. Oh, that's a cool sprite. I don't remember the silver sprite for it. That's sick. That grind took at least 20 hours of gameplay, and we still have to train a few more before we can fight Whitney back in Goldenrod. After an incredibly rare Louisiana ice day, I was heading back to Texas again, to go visit Kotatsu's dogs, and Miho, and Kotatsu.
I press record and suddenly she gets shy. Y'all, we're driving to the Kalahari right now and...
We found a shiny. Full odds.
Oh my gosh.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it.
Because there was another con in town at the Kalahari, IkiCon. And though we didn't see any foozers this time, it was still a good time.
Oh my gosh, that's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. Oh my gosh, shiny genie. Oh, no way. Full odds.
And and Clara ate at Culver's.
Is this your first time ever driving?
Yeah, I don't know what a car is, honestly. Like, what?
Continue on US 7.
Throughout the weekend, I entrusted my Game Boy to N, Clara, Arvin, Juliana, Cornelius.
Great Cornelius, more like not so great Cornelius.
And Kotatsu to help me complete this challenge. And we got lots of level grinding done. Evolving Drowsy at level 26 into Hypno.
I helped.
Sandshrew at level 22 into Sandslash at a place that I couldn't have possibly fathomed that I would have been at twice in 1 year.
Let's go!
And Abra at level 16 into Kadabra.
I didn't even train that one!
That was me!
Wait!
What?
That Pichu is shiny! Oh my gosh!
Oh my
the Pichu brothers!
After having one of the most fun weekends of the year in January, I drove back home to finish the rest of this section. And I even saw the face of the Clefairy that Whitney's gym is in the shape of. Everywhere I saw reminders that I needed to make progress on this challenge. The Nidos were both incredibly quick, evolving at level 16. Venonat took a little bit longer to reach level 31. It was named KFP for Kung Fu Panda, by the way.
No way, shiny Venonat. Oh my gosh.
I walked around and saw a lot of nature while training this thing, like a Venocat. And not too much later, I had a Venomoth. Leaving only Muscle the Machop as the last Pokemon to train. And since it's a traded Pokemon, it gets a little experience boost that makes training it a little easier. In almost no time, it reached level 28 to evolve into Machoke, and we could finally take on Whitney. 34 hours and 5 minutes after getting our second badge. In a casual run, this gym battle can be the stuff of nightmares because of Miltank's rollout, but I really don't think we're gonna have to worry about that for some reason, because we have the good doctor with us. When I was a kid, I actually got so sad that Whitney started crying when we won. I kept talking to her over and over, trying to console her, but it never seemed to work. Maybe one day I'll be able to. On to the next section. Now that we've defeated Whitney, we can get the squirt bottle in Goldenrod City and spray it on the weird tree, allowing us to capture Pseudo-Wudo, and then unlock a lot of the map. I went as far east as I could, going north of Mahogany Town to catch one of my favorite Pokemon, Girafarig. And in Ecruteak City, I got the gift Eevee from Bill, which I put in the daycare to hatch 2 baby Eevee, which I'll keep in my party at all times to boost their friendship for Espeon and Umbreon.
Olivine City, I'm out by the lake. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, that's a good ride right there, man. Now we can fish. Now we can fish in this here lake, man. I'm excited.
I decided I'd do the capturing for this section on February 10th at a Mardi Gras parade. This was a pretty fun place to catch some Pokemon and catch some beads. And I don't mean this bead, he's too British for this. On the scene of the parade, I caught Meowth. I caught a Chinchou fishing in Olivine Harbor. I got a Magnemite on Route 38. I got lucky enough to find the 1% Snubble here, because I kinda got that dog in me. I found both cows, Tauros and Miltank. And then in Olivine City, I fished up a Staryu, which would have fit right in with all the colorful beads on display in the parade. At the end of the parade, I noticed the Louisiana Legendary Trio painted on one of the floats, reminding me that I would need to catch some legendaries in this section. But not yet, because I had a hot Valentine's date with my fat stack of cards and catching a Shelder. And then I took flight to go to Pokemon Go Tour Sinnoh in California. And on the plane I caught a Corsola fishing in Cherry Grove City, a second Krabby, which we'll use for an in-game trade in Olivine to get a Voltorb. We get to see a ball emerge from a ball as if it were a Matryoshka. Caught a Farfetch'd, Got the Rock Smash TM from this dude, which is actually really important, so we can capture a Shuckle. Because sadly we can't surf across the water to get the beloved Shucky and Cianwood City yet. And I did a lot of level grinding with my Meowth because it knows the move Payday, which will help me afford more Pokeballs, because we are broke. Eventually, after some beautiful views that reminded me of the Sinnoh region itself, I landed in Los Angeles and met up with Brosidon. He has a mustache.
The Brosidon, rocking the Reggie shirt, shiny ball, or shiny of the event.
Our Go Tour tickets were for Sunday, so Saturday was a free day for us, and I started out looking for the 1% Marill in Mount Mortar.
Marill? No, that's Peekaboo, dude. You found the Peekaboo!
Oh, okay.
And then we met up with the Supreme Arcanines and Jimmy Wetzel. I've known Dallas for 10 years, and this was the first time I'd ever met him in person.
What is that?
That's definitely a pile of swine.
And while looking around at different shops, I found a Meowth that was signed by the late and great Rachel Lillis, the original voice of Misty and Jessie. And I'm glad I got it because it means so much to me now.
I really hope Marill evolves at level 18, because otherwise this shot's gonna be really stupid.
I will just keep filming.
Peekaboo is evolving, no way.
Alright.
Mew 3?
Is it evolving? Let's go!
Woo!
Yeah!
Yeah!
Holy shakes, guys.
Then we went up to Griffith Observatory, saw a pretty famous sign, definitely played Pokemon the entire time. It didn't just break out our games to get this one walking shot where we got a collective 10 encounters done between the 4 of us. But hypothetically, even if it did pan out that way, it was still really cool to do. And had some Korean barbecue.
You mess with me, you mess with the whole Minecraft server. What do you think about that?
Meeting up with the original founder of Safari Week, Pikachu Paradise. The restaurant celebrated the founder and the current host of Safari Week being together in the same room by dimming the lights and hosting a crazy rave in there. And the party didn't stop. We met up with people like Agent V in Glitch City later that night, and I trained my Voltorb, before we decided to get a good night's sleep to wake up for go time in the morning.
Sleep standing up. This is a really rare sleep style. It's at least like 3 stars. Shiny Geodude to top belly.
Yo!
In the morning, we took a quick shortcut to the Rose Bowl Stadium where the event was by going through the Haritos dimension.
And looks like we've arrived. We're here.
Can I make a Krabby Patty now?
Shiny Bulbasaur! Oh my gosh, no way! There's a shiny Squirtle on the side. Shiny Hunt.
I can't believe we're about to play football today, too.
Being in such a famous football stadium for a Pokemon event was surreal.
Like, if this played during a football game I was at, I would be going nuts.
This is the true meaning of football right here.
This is peak football performance. One of the best linebackers that the NFL has ever seen.
6'3", 225 pounds, runs a 4.40.
It's got a mean tackle, that's for sure. It misses 5% of the time, but like I think they fixed that a few years ago. So like, there it is right now, Eevee. The greatest football player of all time.
One of my Eevee in Silver even got to meet the real Eevee.
The line for Dialga's a little bit longer. I guess we're just giving Palkia a little bit more space.
They outdid themselves, bringing in Dialga, Palkia, and Honda. Happy Honda days. We also met up with the Gremlin from the Nova League, and I found a shiny N.
That's like a guy.
We also walked around with Wise Guy, who showed up, gave me the coolest Pikachu ever, and gave us all Baja Blasts. It's only at an event like this where you can randomly run into people who also have Pokewalkers. Like Canned Wolf Meat.
Canned Wolf Meat AbsolBlogs collab.
I've been like trying to meet this football player for years now.
Dude, it's Mickey Mouse.
This was my first time going to an official in-person Go event, and it felt like the summer of 2016 again, with people walking around playing Go on their phones the whole time. I love the attention to detail for everything Sinnoh and Hisui had to offer, especially Mi Nina's tortilla chips, taking me back to the days of playing Pokemon Diamond.
Flying overhead.
They're just the best, yeah.
Just the best.
I did some grinding on the football field, and before we knew it, the event was over.
Everyone's leaving now. They didn't even announce that the event's ending or anything. Everyone just knows. Because when you check the game now, there's like not a single Pokestop here except for the Spiritomb one. Pokemon go home.
And after a really fun day, it was time to fulfill a mission that had been started through a YouTube video.
I like Linus but not Absol. Linus isn't scary. Absol isn't scary! He just freaks me out. And as I say that, shiny roly-poly.
No! He doesn't watch his videos because he can't get over the fact that he's scared of him.
You know what? I feel like if I just like met him and shook his hand, that would be like speed up my brain. Be like, he's not like an animatronic or like rubber.
I was meeting up with Randy from the Nova League to shake hands and prove that I'm not animatronic. I proved my humanity, and just like that, I was heading home. I remembered on my flight home that I hadn't entered the Burnt Tower yet, where I could catch a Coughing and Magmar, which I could throw in the daycare to get a Mag B. Also, this NPC glitches and turns a pale white when you beat him, which is really scary. But even more importantly, we needed to release the legendary dogs. I just really like dogs, okay? So they could start roaming the land. And I hope to encounter each of them randomly, while training up the rest of my Pokemon. Remember that this is not Pokemon Crystal, and in Silver, all 3 of them roam the land. When I was back home visiting the secret 4th legendary dog, Birdie, I got lots of this training done.
Their ears inside out.
And I evolved Magnemite into Magneton.
What are we training now? Surely a beautiful flower. That's a Coughing.
Soon winter became spring, and I started looking for Suicune, Raikou, and Entei in the wild while training up my Pokemon, while also working on my Ultramoon Wonder Trade project before the 3DS Online shut down. And I evolved Coughing into Weezing during that.
Let's go, Weezing.
Soon I found Raikou and Entei, while doing an amazing dance to the Nightcore version of Who Let the Dogs Out, which sadly got struck by the YouTube copyright system. So here's a different song. The dance was so good that Snubbull evolved, and I don't remember why I named it Centret. Then I decided to make like the dogs and also roam, heading towards the beach to finish my Wonder Trade gauntlet, and to hopefully capture these 3 along the way.
You can clearly see that one of the dogs has been here before. Since we're near the water, I think it was Entei.
And of course, I was in good company.
Ramen, ramen, ramen.
Any sign of him?
Not yet.
Not yet. Based on these tracks, maybe we'll see one soon.
Maybe.
Maybe? Maybe? No!
Kotatsu helped me train Chinchou in the car.
You're not gonna believe this,
What?
but Chinchou is currently at 39 HP.
That's
the Miku number.
Oh my gosh. Shout out to Miku.
Hatsune Miku and Hatsune Milku.
And at level 27, we evolved it into Lantern, but I have no idea where the footage is, so here's Sonic falling in slow motion instead. I didn't do any sort of refresher on how these worked beforehand, and I probably should have, because I had no idea what I was doing tracking these down. And I went in with my Haunter just hoping Quick Claw would activate for Mean Looker Hypnosis turn 1.
They can't escape now. And he used
But this wasn't nearly consistent enough. We needed to actually train this thing up to outspeed the legendaries, which took most of the trip to train up to the right level. And speaking of hauntings, we were still dealing with this guy. And with our tag team GX power, we pushed the cursed Teddy Ursa off the balcony.
Coffee right now.
Copy!
What a normal, easy day. Tedicursa, Tedicursa, Tedicursa. Standing in the odds.
Standing in the odds, the origin!
Yes!
Standing in the odds!
There's a little guy in there. He's underwater right now, but he'll be fine. Oh, there he goes! No!
When Haunter was prepared, we had the craziest drive back ever.
I knew this would happen! On the scene!
On the road!
On the screen, Shiny Meowth on the road.
A buzzer beater beach shiny.
What?
So crazy.
Our reaction was so good, we were just like, oh! Oh, what? Shiny Meowth?
Holy cannoli!
You didn't say that.
No, I didn't. I didn't say that. I actually swore.
He said Bellsprout. Yes! Got it.
Got it? Let's go!
I know what I'm naming this Meowth.
This Matt?
Jeez. Shout out to Calzone and the Indigo Disc movie.
Jeez.
Right, regular Meowth. Shiny Jeez.
By employing a strategy of saving in the gatehouse outside Route 38, then checking the route for one of the dogs and soft resetting if it's not there, We were able to very quickly start finding the roamers, and Kotatsu worked some kind of magic in the car, because she caught all 3. I can't take any credit for this one. I'm not sure if this is considered cheating in the Oak Challenge.
No way!
You
it
caught
caught!
it? Let's go!
Let's freaking
Let's go! We got Suicune!
First legendary dog down on the road!
1 down, 2 to go!
Caught! Oh, we caught Raikou!
What? Let's go!
Beast number 2 in the car. Raikou, more like Raikar. Yes!
We caught it?
We caught it!
We caught it! Let's go!
Let's gay! And I'm gonna name it something that I really enjoy. Shout out to my mom.
Entei's also Kotatsu's favorite Pokemon, so I thought it was very fitting that she caught it. When I got home, I only had the 2 friendship evolutions to worry about, which were quick and easy work, thanks to walking around and the haircut brothers we had access to in Goldenrod. During the day, we get Espeon, and at night we get Umbreon, bringing us to 128 Pokemon in 184 hours and 42 minutes. Almost 32 hours after the last section. And then when I was getting an oil change, it was time to take on Morty at a Volkswagen dealership.
Dude's about to see a legendary right now.
This team was no match for Miguel the Entei. Let's continue our exciting oil change adventure in the next section. I realize that the next line of business is to go into the dance hall and fight all the kimono girls.
It's like you're trying to leap into action right now. Like, imagine just seeing that and wow!
So I could get the HM for Surf. And with the Fog badge, we can now access all these areas. Starting with the least obvious one. In Dark Cave, we can surf to the other room, where we can capture the world's saddest Wobbuffet of all time. Someone get him some help. Then we can surf east of New Barktown, where we take our first step into Kanto. We can't walk really far yet though. And early into the Tojo Falls Cave, we can get another Moonstone, which we'll use to evolve Nidorina into Nidoqueen. Also, through Union Cave, we can access a new area of the Ruins of Alph, where we can catch Natu and Smeargle. On Fridays in the basement of Union Cave, we can also catch Lapras. Then surfing in the Ilex Forest, we can find Psyduck. It made me duck in real life, and its evolved form Golduck. And oh yeah, we'll also get our 4th shiny of this run, guaranteed, the red Gyarados.
Wouldn't it be crazy if this was like shiny? Oh my gosh, it's a shiny Gyarados.
And we get the red scale, which is pretty important actually. This is a big item for this Oak Challenge. If we take the red scale back to Mr. Pokemon, and if you like using the experience share in Oak Challenges like I do, we'll finally get it.
Let's go! This is a game changer.
And now the arduous task of level grinding for this section. Our one Pokemon, Natu, which we can just give the experience share and probably evolve into Xatu off of just doing the required story battles before we fight Price. Because we gotta fight a lot of rocket grunts.
Now we have 136 in the dex, which is all we need for this section. We just have to go and beat Price now. There was no level grinding there, it was all passive. I've never experienced that in a Professor Oak challenge before.
I made Price pay for his sin of exiling the legendary Fuecoco from Mahogany Town, in a refreshingly short section compared to the previous 4. Once you get the first 4 badges in this challenge, it really gets so much easier from there. But get ready for this next section, it's a doozy. And by doozy, I mean even shorter. But also, I'm gonna hold you hostage, and I'm gonna talk about Hatsune Miku for a little bit.
Have some fun with Miku! Have some fun with Miku! We're gonna have some fun with Miku!
I went to Miku Expo 2024, and I have so much to say about that. But first, let's cover the 4 Pokemon in this section.
Buster's sword made out of pizza? What am I watching?
When we get the HM Whirlpool, which I forget is an HM sometimes, we can access the Whirl Islands and capture Seal and Horsey. And on the drive on the way to Miku Expo, thanks to a certain Kotatsu and Unova,
Look
at all this gameplay! This is insane!
they both evolved.
Yay! Adrian evolved!
Oh my gosh, let's go! Yippee!
Yay!
What the goodness?
What the gong? Shiny Swablu!
What? Yeah, let's go! Live stream shiny!
And that's literally it for this section. We can get 2 badges now, taking on Chuck and Jasmine. So now let's talk about the real matter at hand, this Miku Expo concert. Why does this mean so much to me, and why did I drive this far just to see a virtual singer on stage? There are a lot of misconceptions about what Miku and Vocaloids really are, where a lot of people think that Miku's a character from an anime or something that has a really strict canon and is very, very corporately managed. When there is no official story, everything is fan-created, and feels like the ultimate expression of creative freedom online. The songs performed on stage are made by fans, uploaded to the internet just like any other content, and she's kind of treated as a mascot of the internet. And honestly, I think she deserves it. Because Miku is the internet. This is what it's all about. Creating cool stuff to share with people, and being able to connect with people all around the world that way. Whether you reach just one kid sitting alone doing homework in his room like how I first found Vocaloid, or enough people that your work gets performed on stage with a killer live band and partially redefines the culture surrounding it. There's even an official Pokemon collab going on right now called Project Voltage, and all the music videos are definitely worth checking out. I never even really shared how much I love this Vocaloid stuff until recently, because I thought it was something that people wouldn't really be able to relate to all that much. But after meeting someone who knew way more about it than even I did, there I was at Miku Expo 2024. We sat in line for a while before the concert doing a lot of gaming, and I thought here was the perfect time to do a gym battle. Out of all the gym leaders that have ever existed, there is one that's the largest fan of Hatsune Miku. What? And his name is Chuck.
Ooh.
Oh, and he's about to do something crazy to a boulder. Check this out.
Oh my goodness, what the heck?
It's Chuck time.
Do you think that's what he says before, like...
Oh yeah, 100%. That's his catchphase.
That's his catchphrase?
He's always just like, it's Chuck time. Leader Chuck was defeated. Let's go.
What? That lasted like 2 seconds.
It was like 2 seconds, yeah.
That's shocking.
After waiting a few more hours out here, we went inside, and I was ready to take on the next gym leader, Jasmine.
Garfield! 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 Yeah!
And I did it at the beginning of the concert so I can enjoy the rest of it.
Let's go!
And now for a little bit more Silver gameplay.
Team Rocket? Alright, now we can leave Mahogany Town and go here. Isn't that exciting, Miho? She's thrilled. This grass patch right here was where my first ever random shiny that I caught was. There it is.
Lickitung? We can also get a Tangela in the grass here. And it's important to battle Fisherman Wilton and get his phone number for another Pokemon later.
Catching a Swinely nub right now.
Swinus nubis.
And then with my sister, we got to explore the mystical land of IKEA for the first time. And what was really special is that the power went out, so we got to experience IKEA on a backup generator. And things got really strange there. I had no idea they put so much detail into the model rooms.
Check this out, guys.
It was like we were in another dimension. Nobody told me IKEA was this cool.
I'm just chilling in this like house, in this closet, doing the Icefall Cave puzzle, and what the heck?
Ultimate lots of spaghetti. I'm in the house like carpet.
Check it out, I'm in the house like carpet. And if there's too many heads in my blunt, I won't spark it out, put it in my pocket and save it like rocket fuel. To everybody's gone and it's cool, then I spark it up with my brother. His mama named him Moan, but I call him Moan Lover, and he's more than a cover, he's a...
Self-reflect instead. Whoa, that's a camera! It's us!
What?
It's literally us in the 18.
Oh my god, you're right!
That's me!
I really started to question if I was even in IKEA anymore, and what actually was on sale here.
My skin!
This was the strangest store I had ever been in. And from this IKEA, I managed to save the armadillo plush from the Indigo Disc movie. I also found it kind of crazy that they had an arcade here and a rainforest cafe where I found Jinx.
Jinx at the Rainforest Cafe. Oh.
You know, if you think about it, Jinx is pretty similar to Hatsune Miku. They both sing, they both have hair.
What does it have to do with the rainforest?
Nothing.
Oh my gosh, live shiny Yanma. It's blue with green eyes.
And then on the route south of Blackthorn, I caught a Fampy, right next to a real elephant. Then while on the IKEA freeway that's still part of the store, we found a Skarmory.
Look at my own reflection when suddenly it changes. Oh no!
It was a long drive through the store because Fampy and Swina both evolved. Then we spent the rest of the night trying to reset the daylight savings time to get Fisherman Wilton to call us for a Remoraid outbreak. But we weren't successful until the next morning at the IKEA Breakfast Cafe.
But he's gonna talk about his gold D.
It's amazing. I'm around 44 Remoraid our first try.
What the heck?
You spent like all night doing that yesterday. Professor, bring your rod, buddy.
Bring your rod, buddy.
See you later.
But before I catch this next Pokemon, I have to shout out today's video sponsor. Shout out to Remoraid Shadow Legends.
Yo.
And shout out to Ryan Reynolds as well.
Yeah, shout out to Ryan Reynolds.
Use code Ryan Reynolds to get 100
Shiny Togepi.
Are you for real?
Shiny Togepi, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And then it turns out this IKEA was hosting another Miku concert where the glow sticks sold out instantly and I wasn't able to get one. But it was still pretty cool because I got to see Tales with Taylor. And oh yeah, at the last one I saw my old shiny hunting friend from Skype for the first time, Shiny Hunter Zach. This time we had VIP tickets, and we were able to stand really close to the front. And up front, I evolved my Remoraid into Octillery, and captured another Dratini, and started training it to evolve it into Dragonair because there's an in-game trade we need to do. But mostly I just enjoyed the concert. We even found a YouTube video where Miho makes an appearance in the audience. During the final songs of the performance, I decided to save the day from Team Rocket, who was trying to take over the radio tower and stop broadcasting all of Miku's music. Then I sadly had to leave IKEA and go back home.
Silver Wing? Oh my gosh, that's like the game I'm playing. Oh my gosh.
I have to catch Lugia now, so I'm going back to my roots. We're gonna do a spicy Doritos challenge. Welcome to the Whirl Islands. I've got this new Baja Doritos. I don't know what it's supposed to taste like, fiery mango. For every failed Ultra Ball, I eat one of these chips with no drink. Apparently these are fiery. It's fiery mango, so it might be spicy. But they might not be. I might just get to enjoy some nice chips while trying to catch Lugia. So let's see what happens. No unique battle music. It's going kind of crazy right now. It's flapping its wings like a madman. It is time for our first ball and perhaps our first Dorito. Ball 1. Spicy Doritos Challenge, activate. Baja Doritos Challenge, actually. Aw, oh, dang, I almost got a first ball. Let's Dorito. This is what it looks like. Pretty regulation-sized Dorito. That is sweet. Oh my gosh. It's almost like a fruit snack. With a little kick. I kind of like it. It's weird, but I like it. I think. Ball 3. Broke out. Chip 3. I'm trying to decide what this tastes like. It almost reminds me of freshly baked bread in a way. Next chip. Down the hatch. Alright. Clap your hands, Lugia. Let's get in the ball. And let's stay in it. Just like that! That wasn't much of a challenge at all! We got Lugia! I didn't even feel the heat, really. Man. Completely different from the first time I tried this with Lugia with the first degree burn Doritos. Then, after evolving our second Dratini into Dragonair, it has to be a female one, by the way, we can trade it for the evolved form of Rhyhorn.
Connect the link cable. I'm outside. I don't have one here. Oh look, it's the evolved form of Rhyhorn. What a creative name. Then we need to put our Rhydon and our Jinx in the daycare, so we can get a Rhyhorn.
Hooray!
And smooch him.
Dang, this thing is angry about life! This thing is pure rage incarnate.
And with that, under 200 hours, we're ready for our next badge. Then, without much fanfare, I battled against the 8th gym leader of Johto, Claire. Not from any exotic location, but from home. And eventually got my 8th badge, because she's a stinker and doesn't give it to you until you go talk to her in the dragon's den. Now for another short section, which was the part of the game that I was stuck on for months as a kid. Because I had no idea where you got the waterfall HM. I think I talked to everyone in Johto and their grandma to try and get it, but it was in the last place I thought it would be, on the floor of Ice Path. We go to the depths of Mount Mortar to fight against the Karate King and get a gift Tyrogue. Make sure you have an extra party slot for this one. At level 20, Tyrogue will evolve into Hitmonchan, Hitmonlee, or Hitmontop depending on its stats.
Oh, I think that's Hitmon top, for sure, with the boxing gloves.
We'll have to hatch a couple more to get all 3 of them. Also, I was visited by Tornadus, Thundurus, and maybe even Enamorus. Oh, hey there, Kojita. Okay, this actually didn't happen. But I got lots of crazy storms in May that knocked out my power. And one of those nights that the power was out, I decided I would do the rest of this entire section.
I need the electricity to come back out of its egg right now.
On the way to the Pokemon League, there are a few Pokemon to capture like Doduo, its evolved form Dodrio, and Ponyta.
Horses are back for a limited time. Enjoy. #horses.
Breaker, you're letting me down, buddy. I think I should do some shiny hunting.
Do some Manaphy, some Absol, and train these Tyrogues. Got things even. Dude's upside down. Yeehaw. Hitmonlee, he's got some kicks. Just like how I want to kick this electricity back on, Breaker.
The power was out for hours, but I was also gaming for hours because I have a lot of Game Boys and DS's. And I trained up Ponyta in Victory Road until I felt like it would probably evolve through the experience shared during the Pokemon League battles. And then I took on the Elite Four. I've always found the Elite Four in this game to be very, very interesting choices because, like, who is Will? We know so little about Will still to this day. He's like one of the least used characters in all of Pokemon. Who is this mystery man in the Elite Four? I guess that's how most Elite Fours are, though. After defeating Koga, a familiar guy from the Kanto gym leaders, Ponyta evolved into Rapidash.
If you give that a look, that is the dex progress we should be at. Strong Pokemon, weak Pokemon, truly skilled trainers should try to win with full odds shinies.
Then I took on the fake final boss of this game, Lance, the Dragon Master who uses illegal level 47 Dragonites. And my team entered the Hall of Fame. It had been over 200 hours since I started this journey. But this wasn't the end of it, cause we gotta get another 8 badges. But these 8 badges are going to be different. It's a very different feeling from the start of a journey. Something that I genuinely love, and I want to talk a lot about. Let's get into the Kanto section of the game. Now we have what I consider to be the best post-game in Pokemon history. An entire victory lap of Kanto as the champion, able to gather the 8 badges in whatever order we want. And we can explore the region to our heart's content, except for a few roadblocks that make this whole section of the game feel like a big open world puzzle, as you gather the machine part and the expansion card for Snorlax. This section's criticized for not being a challenging post-game, but that's not what I think it was meant to be. This is supposed to be a trip back home, after a few years of getting stronger. You get to see how everything has changed, or see things that are surprisingly the same. The grass isn't supposed to be filled with high-level Pokemon here, and the gym leaders and trainers aren't supposed to be higher level than the champion of the region. Sure, it's a really easy section, and I'm sure it gets monotonous if you're playing through it over and over again, but I remember being enchanted by this playing through it for the first time, being excited at how quickly I was steamrolling through all these trainers, feeling like the strongest trainer in the world, and it made having a high-level Pokemon feel really special. Level 100 really does feel like the pinnacle of power, and very few Pokemon ever reach that level. I also like that there are new Gen 2 Pokemon like Slugma, Murkrow, and Houndour here. That can't be found in Johto. You can always find something new, going back somewhere that felt so familiar. This also means that some of the Generation 2 Pokemon aren't necessarily native to Johto, and the game is equally about the Kanto Pokemon as it is about the Johto Pokemon. This is a thinly veiled Pokemon Red 2 that doesn't reveal itself as such until the very end of the game. And I just can't find myself being super critical of it, or super cynical about it, because we've never gotten anything that feels exactly like this victory lap ever since. And playing through it all again for this Oak Challenge just reminded me how much I love it in the first place, and that I wasn't just looking at it through rose-tinted glasses, even as I played it back at my parents' place, where I first experienced Pokemon Gold over 20 years ago. So let's catch some Pokemon, like the most stanced-up angry Electabuzz of all time. In the dark rock tunnel we can get Cubone, Marowak, and Kangaskhan. I wonder if they're related. In the reflection of the bootleg Pikachu mirror I've had for years, I got Pikachu. At Mount Moon, I got Clefairy. And on Mondays, you can get another Moonstone. We'll need to make it Monday again to get an extra one of those, so we can get our other Nidoking, and Clefable. The water in Celadon City is polluted, so we can catch Grimer and Muck surfing there. Surprisingly, Diglett's Cave contains Diglett and Dugtrio. I like the way that Diglett's menu sprite looks around. There's also a 1% Chansey out there, which took me quite a while to find. I hatched a second one, because there's an in-game trade for an Aerodactyl.
Is that a freaking Aerodactyl?
And while I was at it, I also hatched a Pichu, a Cleffa, and an Elekid. If we raise Chansey's friendship high enough, we can evolve it into Blissey. And at the Celadon Game Corner, when you max out on coins, you can get Porygon.
It's me, Calzone. It pleases me a lot to say that we will be catching another Addish today.
Because Bill's grandpa wants to see 4 very specific Pokemon that will get you one of the 4 elemental stones. Oddly enough, this is the only Leaf Stone, Fire Stone, Water Stone, and Thunder Stone in all of Gold and Silver, with no repeatable way of getting another. Maybe they did this to incentivize trading with Red, Blue, and Yellow, where these were readily available to purchase, since they didn't introduce any new Pokemon in Generation 2 that require one of these stones to evolve. Thankfully they fixed this in Crystal. And then that leaves us with getting the Rainbow Wing in Pewter City, allowing us to capture Ho-Oh. I think it was very nice of them to include both cover legendaries in both versions of the game.
I caught it! Finally!
And then with that, we can take on the true victory lap of battling all 8 gym leaders in whatever order we want, because we won't unlock any new Pokemon through any of these gym badges until we have them all. And once we have our final badge, it'll be time to move on to the true final section of this challenge. After collecting our 16th badge, we can go back and talk to Professor Oak, the guy that this whole challenge is named after, and get permitted to go atop Mount Silver, where we can catch the 3 Pokemon that we need here probably in less than 15 minutes.
Can I name one of them Getty? No.
After nabbing Sneasel outside, we can catch Misdreavus and Larvitar in Silver Cave. These were actually Pokemon I wanted on my first team when I played Gold back in the day, without realizing you wouldn't find them till the very end of the game. We have to get this Larvitar all the way to level 55 to evolve it into Tyranitar, which is a bit of a grind, but when you're fighting level 40-something Pokemon outside of Silver Cave, and also have access to the Elite Four as many times as we want, this is not nearly as bad or time-consuming as Dragonite was. Eventually, it was early June, and I was at NAIC, and I met up with all sorts of amazing friends there, gathering around, shiny hunting, working on multiple Professor Oak challenges at the same time, and eventually evolving this Pupitar into Tyranitar.
This Dodrio battle is the final one before Red. Oh, I'm out of rock slides. We're using Thrash. Level 55, let's go! With the gang! Yeehaw! Whoa, is like Mario here too? That's crazy. Watashi? Japanese Mario?
Bringing me to the grand total of 199 Pokemon, the maximum number of Pokemon you can get without trading or glitching. All that remained was the final battle versus Red atop Mount Silver, and on June 8th, 2024, exactly 1 year after I began this challenge, it was about to end.
Let's check out the final team before I head over. We have my goat, my king, oh my queen, I'm so sorry.
Oh my
Bead Hut, or Bed Hut, the Slowbro, Cruz, the Tyranitar. We have Office, the Aipom, Emphysema, the Victreebel. Go Emphysema, go Emphysema, go Emphysema.
Some of the better players around here?
Jeez, the Meow.
Insert the calzone clip.
And Dr. Agonite, the Dragonite.
Iconic team at this point. Red Hood.
He's got a lot to say.
Whoa, ellipses twice.
Yeah. And let's leave this battle as it was, unedited, because it was a special moment.
There he is.
Silence in here.
That's you.
That would be crazy. Pikachu. Charm.
No. What? Your attack stat.
Sharply fell.
It's a one-hit KO.
I didn't know we had the announcer in here.
Still called Espeon. I'm gonna send out Cruz for this.
Oh, it's Espeon. Oh, I know that guy.
A mud slap.
What? What? No, your accuracy.
It's like the life points going down. No, not the miss.
Your accuracy.
Oh!
They're going for the accuracy strat.
Bless you.
Oh my gosh. You're gonna be at -6.
I'm never going to hit this thing again.
Oh, it was a crit. Well earned.
Let's go, Cruz.
Oh, no way that you got out of that.
Venusaur. We need the good old doctor to help out with this. We need Dr.
Agonite. Oh wait, Venusaur looks amazing.
It's screaming.
It is.
Oh, Solar Beam when I land. Oh.
Quadruple resisted Solar Beam.
It's gonna do so much damage.
Actually, it's
If this
gonna do
doesn't crit.
0 damage.
Oh!
Hex.
Show no cheating device.
No cheating device, only GameCube.
Okay, I confirmed.
Alright, Blastoise. This is a call for Emphysema.
Oh, I forgot his sprite. He's on quads.
He's crawling.
Oh!
Shiny!
It's
Full on!
Uh-oh.
Blizzard. Okay.
He only has 32 levels on you. Oh, you hate to see it. Oh, it's Slowbro.
That's a lot of damage.
Do we Phil Swift?
That's not good.
Is he down and out?
I think he's still got Charizard.
Charles
Lizard? Snorlax as well. Alright, for Snorlax, we're sending Cruz back out again.
Ooh.
Named after Richie's Tyranitar from the anime.
That's sick.
He's going for the special defense boost that doesn't exist yet.
It's gonna paralyze. No, it didn't. Okay.
Cruz missing his attacks. He's just like me for real.
Too soon, too soon.
Flinch? Oh, never lucky. One flinch
right now.
One flinch and Cruz has got this.
No. Or a crit.
How do you keep doing that? Oh, okay.
No.
Close.
Cruz.
Oh,
No,
there's the
I
crit.
got
You
crit.
predicted it.
All right. A brave warrior is gonna take this down. Jeez.
Whoa, he's here on the scene.
He doesn't even have to do anything.
Nice.
Just looking at G's had him flee in fear.
That was powerful.
All right, next up we have Charizard. And of course, Beat Hut. Or Bed Hut. I still haven't decided how I want to say its name.
I could have doubled that today.
He missed.
Fire Spin miss.
Here it comes.
And that's it.
Uh-oh. Dude, it's a one-hit KO.
We did it.
Yes.
Exactly 1 year after starting it, June 8th, 2024, the Professor Oak Challenge is done.
Nice.
Silver version stab.
Dude, look at the dancers.
That's it. I've defeated Red. And I stole his hat. Our Professor Oak challenge in Silver is complete. After an entire year. Now, I probably could have finished this in like a month if I had just locked in and sat at my desk. But that's not the Pokemon adventure that I always wanted to go on. I look back on my first Gold playthrough when all I had was one Game Boy, one copy of the game and no link cable, much like the Professor Oak challenge. And I can't help but feel like Kid Me would be proud of who I've become all these years later. This Oak challenge was just 1 year of my life. And I don't think I want to stop doing this, because I love level grinding. I love shiny hunting. I love these long, weird, monotonous tasks in video games. Not because of the monotony, but because of what you can do while going through the monotony. While the world of Pokemon may not be real, the people who love it very much are. And somehow, time and time again, I meet the coolest people I would have never met otherwise by doing these mind-numbing tasks. It may sound unbelievable that just doing this has led me to going to Miku Expo, to Lawrence, Kansas, to Japan, to meeting a best friend just by being recognized in public at a store. But it's all true. And I think for a very long time, I'll be chasing after the stuff that I got to do during this challenge. Thank you so much for watching. Never stop trying to go on your own Pokemon adventures, and I will see you next time.